Needville is headed to the Little League World Series, and their head coach is a good old Aggie out there, been a TexAgger since the early 2000s, he told me in a text, and now he's doing the publicity tour. I think if I got his itinerary correct, he was just with ABC, or he's about to be with ABC, so we'll talk to him about that. Andy McRae with us here on the program. Andy, good morning, man. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've been a TexAgger for a long time.
That's awesome, man. So how has it been? Because I can imagine – I'm just guessing here. You just love to coach ball, right? You want to see some baseball, coach at a high level, and now you got all these demands, TexAgs, ABC, like all these things happening. Is it cool? Is it fun? Is it exciting? Tell me the vibe.
So it's really, hey, I'll admit it's cool, right? It's different. I work in insurance and not in television and not a coach full time, and so it's really interesting. This is a cool one for me because, like I said, I've been doing this a long time. Some of the other ones, I'm like, oh man, I don't know what to say, But overall, it's been a great experience for us and the boys. The boys love it. They do interviews with television, and they had a parade up here, and they're throwing. There's kids throwing them balls to sign and throwing them back. There's adults throwing them balls to sign back. They just ate it up. So it's just been a really wonderful experience overall.
One of my favorite things to do when I was at the old TV station I was at was these Little League World, because if Houston, for some reason, every year it's got like a team. The Houston area's got a team out there. I know Richmond was really good, Bel Air, and now Needville making their first run. How did it all come together?
Oh, when there were 5 or 6 kids, when Needville's a small town, it's about 3,000 people, so it's not like we have this big area to pull from, but I've coached some other teams when my older son, when they were around, and they had some good teams. But this one, when there were 4 or 5 kids that when they were in T-ball, you went, oh, these kids are like way better than the other kids. And so it really stood out, and we just started putting it together. They all play travel baseball and they do that, but we've always kept it together kind of from a community standpoint. They come back and play Little League and we wanted to make this run. We thought about it 5-6 years ago and kind of worked towards it for the last 5 or 6 years. So it's been really cool that the boys have bought in.
So was there a point in the season where you're like, okay, everything we had envisioned 4 or 5 years ago is actually set up to do exactly, or did you really see it that long ago?
No, we saw it. So at 10 years old, we went to Needville is, again, it's not a large community. So we had a lot of success at 10. We won our state championship at 10. We got second at 10, excuse me. We won it again we won it at 11. So when we won it at 12 this year, and if you win the state of Texas, it's Texas East. Texas is broken into 2 states, East and West, because it's so large. So when we won that, we knew we had a shot, right? It was like, okay, if you can win Texas, we can go beat folks from Louisiana and Mississippi and those. They're a great ball clubs, but we knew we had a shot. So.
Talking to Andy McRae here on TexAgs Radio. What class are you of A&M, by the way?
Class of 2000.
2000. All right, a little younger than me. That's cool. Tell me a little bit about
not much.
Tell me a little bit about some of the youngsters on the team. Tell me about their personalities, their vibe, all that good stuff.
Yeah, no, we have a great group of kids. They've all played together. We have one middle school, one elementary school, and one high school in town, right? So they all are together every day, all day. It's like 12 of their best friends running around. They're the football players, they're the basketball players, they're the baseball players. There are the good kids in town, but they make up a lot of the talent pool. So it's really cool to watch them. They're, like I said, they a lot of them play travel ball together too. So they are literally together every week of the year, most of the days of the week, and it's really fun. That it's good. And then there's also such a comfort level at times. We got to reel them back in and say, hey, let's concentrate and play. But they're great kids, and they're really outgoing. They've had a great experience meeting people from Cuba and Japan, and we room with the kids from Venezuela, and they're trading arm sleeves for gloves for this and that. It's really cool. They have no idea what they're saying to each other, but they're making deals, right? So.
And I understand they like to dance too, huh?
Yeah, we got a little dance off when we have a kind of a nervous game. We have one of our coaches, Joey Bench, who will get in there and start the dance moves, and then we have the kids jump in, and it just kind of relaxes them. At times, people expect them to do more. But they're 12, so a nice dance off, take their game off, and sometimes we'll play a wiffle football game to break it up too, right? Because they all like football too, and they get a little tired of baseball a bit, so we'll throw a wiffle ball game in there. We'll put a plastic ball in there and let them play football to warm up. So we mix it up a little bit.
Andy, with kids who are involved in youth sports that have to travel, I'll ask you this as the coach: Who is having more fun, the players or the parents? Because I know the parents, they're probably having a really good old time.
Yeah, the parents have a really good time, especially when you know each other so well. There might be a few pops drink here or there, in the evenings. But no, honestly, the kids probably, but it's really really close. I can promise you that. Now it's been a long summer, and we're getting to a point where we've been away for close to 3 weeks, where we were home for 2 days. So moms and dads and brothers and sisters are starting to miss their their kids who are playing. Luckily, we're going to get some time coming up. We're kind of get a little break in the schedule. It's actually a little more time when this tournament starts during the day to see your family.
So I can only imagine travel, how expensive and like how are they managing? Because to me, like you don't know your schedule until you qualify, and then by that point, flights are expensive, and you've already been traveling for so long. Are the kids away from their family for most of it? And I assume you said they room with the other kids. So how does that all work out and the pricing and all that?
Yeah, I mean the pricing, the kids are mostly taken care of by Little League. There's some meals we buy and stuff like that, but the families have really had to come. I mean, it's not a cheap trip to Williamsport to start with, much less the other three tournaments. We played one in Corpus Christi, one in Tyler, and we were somewhere else. It's all running together. Oh, Waco. We were in Waco. So we've had four, week-long trips where folks have been out. Then this one to Williamsport. It's a blessing, but it's also, yeah, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
Youth sports is not cheap in general.
Tell me a little bit about your time at A&M. And actually, let's start.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I was class of 2000. I was there for 98. When we won the Big 12. Been a huge TexAgs fan for ever. I have to shout out the old recruiting wars of like Jose Scott and Chip Ambrose and all those guys. You go back, and that was kind of my time watching it and listening to it, or not listening but reading it on the Maroon and White Report and stuff. So we just we were A&M was different in 1998 to 2000 than it is now, and it was a good fun time. But we still make it back quite a bit. My 16-year-old son is probably more of a Texagger than I am now. He's on it like 20 hours a day, I would guess, at some point. So
Is he a lurker or does
it's a
he
family
post?
tradition. What's that?
Does he lurk or does he post?
He's a lurker
Yeah.
mostly because I won't let him post because I'm more of a lurker too. I'm not a poster, but he does sometimes post under my credentials. So at the end of the day, and I'll say, dude, you can't say that. Like you got to back off a little bit. He's 16. So, but we have fun.
Are you, when it comes to A&M sports, were you just as big into baseball as football?
Oh, yeah, no, actually, my son plays on a youth basketball team too, and BJ Holmes is his coach.
Oh.
So going back, yeah, so that's kind of fun. Me and BJ get to talk about basketball and stuff, and yeah, no, I love all A&M sports. That's what we do in our house. We watch A&M sports and watch the Houston Texans and Astros. That's kind of the what we do.
What do you think about Schloss and what he's doing with the baseball program?
Oh, it's huge. I think we're going to be back in the College World Series here pretty soon, and I think that he's really. It looks really good. At the end of the day, I know they just got Braden Montgomery, and that kid can play. So hey, anytime you get kids throwing 97 miles an hour, you got shot.
By any chance, do you have other Aggie families on the team?
Yes, we do. We do. We have a couple other Aggie families on the team. Yeah, we got all my families, Texas A&M, couple of 3 or 4 other families. Now, Needville's a rural community, so we tend to lean the Texas A&M way versus the other way, which we don't talk about.
So a mutual friend of ours is how we got linked up, Greg Hodges, who, by the way, loves the University of Texas, which is his biggest flaw. But he's listening to the TexAgs today, so I appreciated him linking us up today. Just tomorrow, it gets started, right? Like 6 o'clock, is that right?
Yeah.
Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah, we actually play. We play the Pennsylvania team, so they random draw. That's what I hear. They random draw. We aren't in the group, but they random draw. We drew the Pennsylvania team at 7 o'clock, so they're expecting like 15,000 people at this game. For I had 12-year-olds have played in front of 1,000 maybe. So we'll see how I think they're going to be fine. We've talked about it, and they're really loose, and we got a good shot to beat them. But it's going to be a really really cool experience, to be in front of that group. So.
Andy, how weird is it? Like, you've got worldwide attention, right? It's one, you're on ESPN. You've got worldwide attention from the small town outside of Houston. Is the moment like? Do you feel that, or is it just tunnel vision? We're playing baseball, and we'll focus on this later.
I think I think we feel it. It'd be a lie if I said it's tunnel vision with 12-year-old kids and people who've never experienced it. We feel it. I'm like, I'm talking to you guys, or I'm having an interview with, another radio television station. I'm like, this is not normal for me. I'm 45. I've never done it before. Same for the kids. They're getting autographs and giving out autographs, and people are taking pictures of them, and little kids walking up to them, adults walking up to them, want pictures. So it's really cool, and they're embracing it. I don't see it bringing them down or making them unfocused, but I think come game time, once we felt it at Waco. We were first time we ever play on ESPN, and everybody was nervous. You could see it, but as soon as they closed the gates, they just focused on baseball, and it was nice to see because they just naturally did it.
Andy McRae, the head coach there for Needville. You guys go under the moniker Southwest, right? That you have to. It's
we're
Needville.
Southwest, yeah. I wore Needville to represent the blue, but we're candy corn this weekend. So.
Well, we hope you win it all, man. It's been fun to, Greg tweets about it all the time. I'm seeing it on ESPN, on all the TV stations. Such a cool ride for you all. Best of luck, and I hope to get you on the show again at some point.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.